So what are the first things you need to do with your project before you actually start scheduling? I'm going to show a project on the screen already scheduled, but I'll go through these bullet points. When designing a project in MS Project, there are several settings that you may want to configure to ensure that your project plan aligns with the organization's requirements and the specific needs of your project. Firstly, go to Project Information, setting start date and finish date, defining the title. Secondly, you must set the date formats, time formats, and other general preferences. Thirdly, look at your currency tab. Fourth, you might want to choose whether manual or automatic scheduling is appropriate. I would heartily recommend automatic scheduling. Then you need to change your working time and or calendar. Under project properties, change working time option. All right, and then looking at your task dependency, what's the default dependency type, which is obviously finish to start in most cases, but you can change that under file options, advanced and task scheduling tab. Then your tracking. Do you want to track your project by percentage complete or percentage work complete? Right, that you would need to define. And then formatting. Okay, under the formatting type, how do you want your Gantt bars to look, etc. What text do you want next to your Gantt bars, left, right, bottom and top and inside even. And then your page setup. What page layout do you want? Landscape, portrait, or whatever. So those are the things you're going to set. So let's have a look at MS Project. And here's one set already, but let's look at project information. This is where you would set your current day. Current date is already set, but start date. Okay, usually that's the default scheduling from the project start date. You may wish to also specify a status date, although I would recommend current date as status date, and which calendar you want to go by. All right, then the other things I mentioned, file options here. Let's work from the top, not everything, but we'll work from the top. The date format is over there. All right, okay, on display, your currency, this would be South African, of course. Sometimes you change that, but it doesn't change that, so you need to be careful of that. And of course that would be best handled under control panel. All right, okay, another thing you might need to be aware of is this control panel. Okay, under control panel in Windows, you might sometimes get a warning in MS Project, but changing the date, time and number formats, and this is important. On additional settings, is your decimal symbol set to a period and your list separator a comma, or the other way around? Project will certainly warn you regarding that. So that's just stepping outside a little. All right, do you want your entry bar to show? Okay, so here, for example, I got the entry bar as it is in Microsoft Excel with my check and cross. Okay, and then of course on schedule, you might want to change your assignment units to decimal as opposed to percentage. It's by default percentage. And then scheduling options for this project or all new projects going forward, auto scheduled. Manual scheduling is not going to give you automatic scheduling across the timeline. Okay, when you add or delete or increase or decrease durations and things like that. So auto scheduled is going to do that for you. One of the other clues is that manual scheduling is green, auto scheduling is blue on the Gantt bars. Likewise in that column over there. All right, so underneath advanced, you might want to look at a couple of things. The one I really like is show project summary task automatically. So there's the project summary task up there. Show project summary task automatically. All right, so just let me remember how else we wanted to do it. Of course, we can, in terms of our tracking the project, is it percentage complete or percentage work complete? So remember they're different. Percentage work complete works on hours and percentage complete works on duration. Okay, so you need to be aware of that distinction over there. See, this one has been tracked just up to 50% there. So percentage complete, okay. If we were to look at percentage complete, they might be the same at this point. Let's see. Alright, no, 6%. You see that, as opposed to 7% on phase 1. Slightly different. It's doing different calculations. Right, the other thing you might want to ensure with your project is, in fact, on the view details panel, what do you want to see? Do you want to see resources and predecessors, or do you want to see predecessors and successors? Do you want to see resources and successors? There are 3 options. The default is this one. Okay. All right. Good. So those are the things. Now let's spend a bit of time on the calendar. The calendar is under a project over here and change working time. So you can specify which calendar. You have already specified that underneath project information, but you can create a new calendar here, and that's of course on our YouTube channel. You can look that up to create a brand new calendar. Remember, there are 2 areas. This is where you would specify your public holidays and special days, etc. Okay, and then your work weeks is where you would specify, under details, you would specify your hours, days to specific working times to change the calendar. I'm going to cancel out of there. That will of course affect your major schedule. Let's just remind ourselves, what else did we need to do? So I've looked at project information, currencies, time formats, scheduling options, okay, working time and calendar, task dependencies, progress tracking, formatting, of course. Alright, the format tab, that's where you would set everything up with regard to your Gantt chart format, what kind of look do you want it to have, preset designed up here. The other thing you need to know is, of course, if you double click here and you specify your text, do you want resource names to the right hand side? What do you want to the left hand side, on the top and the bottom and inside? You could in fact put, for example, on the left hand side you could put the task name. Alright, watch here, there we go, the task name goes on the left hand side. Right, what else did I specify? Underneath page setup, that's the last thing on your page setup, file, print, there we go, and your page setup is over here. So what do you want on your page setup, portrait or landscape? Do you want your legend to show at the bottom here or not? I'd say turn it off. Okay, give yourself some more space. There we go, legend is off. Oh, by the way, the other thing on page setup, do you want your notes to appear? So you go view here, print notes. All your notes appear on the final page. So that would be any note that you have, like here, a note over here that would then appear in your print out. File, print, and let's have a look at page 1. Oh dear, file, print, there's page, there we go. There's demolish existing bathroom, the note appears there. So that's by way of a checklist.